All right. Welcome, everyone, to another 20 questions. And this time I am here with one of our newer authors, Herman Johansen. And I've got to say, I'm really super excited about this, in part because his editor, Barbara Lockwood, has been a dear friend of mine for, gosh, I want to say like 30 years. And she was just so thrilled to work with Herman and so thrilled about his book that it just made me even more excited just to have an opportunity to really just sit down with him and chat. So with that in mind, guys, always remember you are more than welcome to ask any questions that you may have. Just go ahead, put the questions into the comments section of whatever venue you're watching this, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, so forth and so on. And Herman and I will be sure to address your questions as they come in. Now, if you're watching this and it's the recorded session, you know what? That's okay. Because all that does is go ahead, put your question to the comments section, and then, I'm sure he would be more than happy as I speak on his behalf
Yeah.
for us to address them later. So, with that, I'm going to dive right in. What is the very first book that you remember reading?
Well, I have a comment first. Barbara, you've known Barbara Lockwood for 30 years?
Correct.
It was, she told me she was 28 years old, so I don't know.
Well, we can all know each other in a previous life.
Yeah,
That's
that's right.
fine.
That's right. Okay. The first book, I don't remember the title of it. It was a World War II book.
Mm-hmm.
It had paratroopers on the cover and airplanes, and I love both of those things. And so it was. I wish I could remember the name of it. And this was um, in the '60s. I mean, it goes way it goes way back there. I bought it when I was so young I could really barely read it or barely comprehend it. That was kind of the first. I spent my own money on it at the little drugstore and took it home and just pored over that thing for a long time. So
Cool. Okay. Now, who is your favorite author? And I would lean towards favorite author and thriller because that is more so where your series
yeah,
brings us, but it could be in any genre that you choose.
yeah. Well, I Lisa Gardner I like, John Irving I like a lot. James Patterson is kind of the go-to beach read for me if I ever make it to the beach. Um, Things of that sort. Agatha Christie, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Agatha Christie because I just inhaled those books all through junior high and high school. Um, so that would be a few of them. John Grisham, David Baldacci. I mean, there's a lot of them. I love reading.
Excellent. Now, who do you feel influenced your writing the most, and in what way?
Well, without a doubt, my Sharon Lewis, my high school English teacher, who I wish I could track her down somewhere somehow, um, just to let her know I'm still alive and still writing. Um, but she, the confidence she showed in me was amazing. It was unwarranted, I'm sure, at the time, but uh, uh, that made a big, big impact on me. And she's actually the person that was largely responsible for me going to college because just in that, I think she was calling my parents, unbeknownst to me, and talking to them about grants and loans and encouraging me to go because I really did not like high school and didn't know what I wanted to do, but I had no intention of going on to college. So that would be that's the one person that really stands out. Um, but again, Agatha Christie, um, David Harrison, and Sandra Asher are dear friends of mine, and they're both professional writers with quite a track record of success in very different markets what this book is in, but they're fantastic people and good friends of mine and have influenced me in many ways. And Tim Kazurinsky, who some people may have heard of him, he was a writer on Saturday Night Live in the 80s, did all the Police Academy movies. He was the screenwriter for About Last Night.
Oh, cool.
The Demi Moore and James Belushi thing that put them on the map. And Jim Belushi. So he's also, I mean, I guess the three people I mentioned make an impact on me first and foremost because they're just wonderful people. They're also writers, so I mean, they're cool. So I've enjoyed that a lot. So
cool. So what books do you feel like made the biggest impact on you?
Well,
like what made you say, you know what, I have to write?
It's kind of go around and around with this because again, Agatha Christie, no doubt about it. I just loved reading those mysteries. I loved the fact that they were traveling by train in Europe and stuff like that. And we'll get to that later. I did eventually get to do that a few years ago. But that was just a dream. Well, actually, it was a fantasy of mine at that point in my life because I think I'd been in 2 or 3 states in the U.S., let alone anything else. But that, I guess, I really loved the mysteries, but it was really, I think, I just always had a desire to do it. I mean, when I was a kid, I was writing poetry. I actually sold a couple poems when I was like 16 or 17. Published a couple poems, and then I was writing song lyrics. Didn't know anything about music, but just kind of freeform poetry / lyrics kind of thing. I've still got a giant book of those here somewhere, and it's just always something I just always wanted to do. I guess just the fact that you're making something out of nothing really appealed to me, and through books, be it Agatha Christie or any other books I was reading at the time, that was, I mean that's, I could not even imagine getting to travel to Europe when I was a kid, but through her books, I could go anywhere. Belgium, and on and on and on, and and the spend the Christmas season in a snowed-in inn somewhere with people being murdered one by one, on an island. And there were none on an island. I mean, it's so it always appealed to me in some way, shape, or form. And then I think to carry it a little bit farther, as an adult, I started reading John Irving stuff, and like Hotel New Hampshire just tore me up in a good way. I mean, it was like so emotional for me, and so melancholy. And so that's when I was like, well, it'd be great to be able to do this. So, and my book is none of that. It's set right here in the U.S. But not comparing myself to John Irving at all, but that's somebody that made me want to do it.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your book? So what is it about it? What inspired you to not only write the book, but also write the series?
Well, it's okay. I need to be careful here. There's a true event that was the catalyst for it, but the book is in no way, shape, or form based on that. It really has nothing to do with it at all, but it's what got me thinking first off. And it happened in Las Cruces, which is where the book is set. And it was in the, not that many years ago. It was before the turn of the century, but I mean, it was the 70s, 80s, 90s, somewhere. I should look it up again. But, and they call it the Bowling Alley Massacre. So these apparently 2 guys walked into a bowling alley that doubled as a daycare center, informal daycare center, um, and shot several people. I think it's still on record as maybe the largest mass murder in the U.S. that's unsolved.
Oh
So to
boy.
this day, they haven't solved it.
Mm.
But the most tragic thing about this story is that
Mm.
many of the victims were children,
Mm.
and all the way down to a toddler or two and everything. So it's like, I guess what in my twisted mind, what got me working, that was like, well, what if the kids were the target?
Mm.
And I know nothing about the investigation other than googling it, but
Mm.
um, so that's what got me going here without giving too much away in the book. But ultimately, they discovered that the kids were actually the target.
Wow.
And that's also a warning if you maybe a trigger for some people. There's no I kind of semi-graphically describe what happened to them in past tense because
Mm.
the detectives now are working another case,
Mm.
and that's a cold case, and it starts to link up. Things start connecting the two cases,
Mm.
um, but uh, so there are some descriptions of violence against kids and
Mm.
violence in general. Oddly enough, there's only one murder that takes place in the book in
Okay.
in in current time as it's described, and
Mm.
that's the penultimate scene toward the end of the book.
Mm.
But but they do talk about it somewhat graphically, and they're pretty graphic. Murders are pretty graphic. So, but I mean, there's not a lot of time spent on it, but they are the two detectives are talking about it. So that's
Okay. All right. Well, if there was one book that you could reread for the rest of your life, what would that book be?
oh, um, may beating this horse to death. Maybe, and then there were none by Agatha Christie.
Mm.
Largely just for the nostalgia of it, because I read those when I was so young. I mean,
Mm.
I read 25 or 30 of those novels in junior high and high school, and then kind
Mm.
of got married in college and moved on to other things. But I do go back and read those occasionally, like every winter for some reason. I'll go back and read one or two of them, and it's
Mm.
kind of like hanging out with an old friend almost, you know. Uh, but might be that one, you know.
Okay. If there, well, what book would you save in a book burning?
Well, okay, this may be too much irony. Fahrenheit 451.
Okay.
You know, I mean, because it's the message is so important in that book,
Mm.
and especially about books and about learning and about broadening your horizons and everything else. So it's it'd be maybe that's too on point, but that's probably the one I would say. Because
Mm.
I've been, speaking of the Europe trip, I did spend a little bit of time in Berlin,
Mhm.
and they have the very emotional uh, thing there to all the books they burned in that plaza, and I can't remember the name of the plaza, the square, whatever it was.
Mhm.
But I don't know if you've heard of it or been there or anything, but they have a underground. They have a you could walk across plexiglass on top of it, and they have enough bookshelves to hold all the books that were burned during Hitler's regime there.
Oh wow. Okay.
And but they're all empty, so it's just a huge empty library, and you can walk over it, and that is the spot where they burned them.
Mm.
So
Mm.
it's makes quite an impact on
I'm
somebody that
sure.
likes to read. Almost anybody.
I'm sure. Wow. Now, while you were originally writing the book, who did you actually allow to read it?
Well, a few chapters. I was actually in Los Angeles, living in LA when the idea first came to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in a writers group there called the Writers Block
Mm-hmm.
that a Central Avenue Church put together. It's strange. It's a wonderfully accepting church, and they had a number of different things going on, and one of them was the group started this writers block because, of course, being LA, there were screenwriters and other people there, and so I first came up with the idea, wrote a few chapters. Actually, I am pretty sure I wrote like the first chapter and one of the very last chapters of the book while I was there, and they've since been, polished and tweaked many, many times.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of where it started, and then life has been kind of unusual. So I mean, started it there, but then picked it up here. So those people read a couple chapters, but I did use. There were six people, 6 or 7 people. Two of them, my sisters, my sister Martha, my sister Marvon. Both, especially Martha's an avid reader.
Mm.
I believe Marvon is as well. And then friends of mine from the West Coast, Karen and Laura Schaefer, and C.W. Browning, Marvon's husband, who was an editor for many years for the Arkansas Democrat Gazette.
Oh, wow.
Copy editor, I can't remember the exact title. But so he read it. He was one of the first people to read it, just to give me some suggestions on on AP style and stuff like that. He said, well, you can't really do this. If you do this, if it's great, you can get away with it, but blah, blah. And he actually is partially responsible for the title. Initially, it was just going to be Las Cruces, period. And he's like, well, that ain't going to fly. You need to have something there that has some hint of violence or murder and this kind of stuff. So I that's where I ultimately added Blood Relative, and then it kind of has morphed into a series. But also Betty Ridge, a cousin of mine, and Diane Wood, who was a college friend of mine, who sadly she read the book, gave me a few suggestions, and then died.
Oh boy!
So she's, I acknowledged her in the book, but it's really sad. She quit answering my emails. It's really not like Diane, and Googled her, her name and obituaries, and there she was. So,
got it. Wow.
And then Annie Cleveland. I guess the other one is Annie Cleveland. So that group of people, I sent it to them a very rough draft after I was here in New Mexico, moved to New Mexico and stuff, and got good ideas from many of them. And it's kind of interesting because they're all people. They're not writers or, CW did have an editing background in newspapers, but kind of a different deal. But several of the suggestions I got were things like, I'm not sure about this. And then hooked up with Barbara. Barbara's like, because there were a couple chapters that a couple of the people said, these early chapters are kind of boring, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, they're necessary. And Barbara's like, yeah, these early chapters are boring. They got to go. So, I mean, she didn't know their feedback, but she just latched on this. I'm like, okay, I guess they knew what they were talking about. So.
Well, along those lines, so what was the editing process like working with Barbara? And how do you feel like that really either changed or evolved your story?
Oh, I think, well, it helped it tremendously. I mean, the story is still there. It was pretty much what it was originally, but I mean, just tweaking some moments, getting rid of, seriously, I had deleted like chapters 3 and 4
Mm,
kind of thing. But she said, some of the information in there is necessary, sprinkle it throughout the book, but get rid of these chapters.
mhm.
Um, and then things like, I'm sure any writer knows this. I'm kind of came into this kind of backwards, but I think she refers to them as weasel words.
Oh, uh-huh.
Uh, Words or phrases that you just use over and over and over.
Mhm,
And oh my God, I'm embarrassed. I can't remember some of them, but I mean, some of them were like a little bit, or some things like,
mm.
when I would search those, it's like, okay, I used that term like 473 times in the book,
Wow.
kind of thing. So I spent quite a bit of time going through and just cleaning up, just taking out those words,
Mhm.
or about is one, stuff like that. So taking those words out, I mean, it's terrible. It was a horrible habit of mine, and I'm sure she'll pick that up in book 2 too. but maybe a little better. But uh, I think we cut about 1,500 words out of the novel just on those weasel words alone.
Mhm, mhm.
Deleting a bunch of those. So,
Wow.
but she was, I don't know. We get along great. Um,
Mhm,
and there was a gal named Kelly who was kind of first worked with me. I should have included her on who read the book.
mm,
She did a lot of just proofreading hints that were
mhm,
really helpful too. Um, so I'm indebted to her as well. But Barbara and I really clicked,
mhm.
and so
Yeah, and it's funny, full disclosure, as soon as Barbara found out that we acquired your second book, she called me and was just like, "How dare you assign it to someone else?" And I was like, "I didn't assign it to anybody yet. I was gonna give it to you because she had vocalized the minute that she found out that you had submitted the second in the
yeah.
series that, she's like, "Oh no, I have to work with Herman." And I said, "Okay," and like it put me in a panic, like, wait, did I do something that I don't remember doing? And I'm searching submittable to find out, like, what did I do? And I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
looking at it now, I didn't do anything. And she's like, "Oh, okay, all right. Well, then you're okay.
yeah,
It's fine."
yeah.
So, but it was just hilarious. She just so adored your writing that
Well,
I
that's
absolutely I had to share that. So,
good. That's great.
now if you were at a dinner party with 4 seats, what 4 authors, or actually just individuals you find inspiring, would you include?
Oh, well, I'm also an actor, uh, and so I'd have to think about that for a minute. There would be probably some actors on the list, but
Mm,
uh, Lisa Gardner, who I met briefly at a writers conference about 3 years ago,
mhm,
um, and she's an avid hiker as well
mm.
as I am. So she would be one, I'm sure. Um, and oh, who else would be there? Oh gosh, who else? Probably John Irving again, just because he was
Yeah.
instrumental in me wanting
Okay.
to write. Um, and I'm sorry, I don't even know if he's alive or dead now. I guess hopefully
You
he's
know,
alive, but I don't know. Stephen King, I think, would be an interesting choice, just because he is so prolific. And
mhm,
this book is, I'm not comparing myself to Stephen King at all, but it's kind of sort of. I always used to joke that way back when I even started, said, well, I think if Stephen King and James Patterson had a baby, it'd be this book. Uh,
mm.
and not comparing my skill to their skill at all, but
Mhm,
just it's got that. it's got some paranormal activity, or I guess some people are calling it magical realism now,
Mm-hmm.
uh, is involved in the book. And then most of it's super short chapters, which is kind of a hallmark of James Patterson's style.
Mm-hmm.
And so have these super short chapters. It's told in present tense.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully it moves along really rapidly.
Got it.
Is my
Okay.
dream. So uh, Stephen King, yeah, Agatha Christie. I guess I'd have to invite her to
Mm-hmm.
uh, bring her back from the dead. Um, because if nothing else, I'd just ask her, "Where the hell were you when you disappeared?" You know, because there's that famous story that I know other people know far more than me, but
Mm-hmm.
at the height of her fame, she just disappeared. I think it was. Do you know that? I mean, it was. I think for a couple of years or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a long time. So
Mm-hmm.
have to ask her about that.
All right. So now everybody has something that's their go-to, as I would lovingly call it, drug of choice, whether it be an actual drug or like ice cream. For you, what is your go-to comfort or drug of choice?
Well, comfort food. It's pasta. Pasta with
Okay.
a red sauce. I would eat that every day if it wasn't already fat. Um, and chocolate and ice
Mhm.
cream are on there. And then I do enjoy a dirty martini
Okay. All
here
right.
and there. Well, a tiny bit dirty. I make them at home. I've only found one place that I enjoy the martini more than what I make at home. Not that
Okay.
I'm any wizard, but it's just got to be just a little dash of olive brine in there. I don't want it too salty, but stuff like that. So yeah, I do enjoy that.
Okay. Now, do you have a book that you would consider to be your guilty pleasure? Like a romance book or something that's outside of your norm?
Oh well, not necessarily. I mean, if I'm, it's not really a guilty pleasure. James Patterson is the world's
Mm.
best-selling author, I guess. But I mean, that's no no offense at all. But I mean, I guess if I just want to read something and just let the imagination run wild and forget everything else,
Hmm.
I'll read James Patterson of some
Cool.
kind. And of course, he sometimes crosses over. I mean, a lot of his are murder mysteries too.
Hmm.
Better, probably far better than mine, and selling far more copies than mine. The
Well,
guy's
we'll
got a
find
dream, right?
out. So now, if you do you have a movie or a TV show that's more like your go-to or your guilty pleasure?
Yeah, and I guess I shouldn't really feel guilty about these either because they're both phenomenal series. But Longmire and West Wing
Hmm.
are shows I can watch over and over.
Okay.
My girlfriend is Christine is a fanatic for Little House on the Prairie, the original series, not the
Oh,
most
wow.
recent
Okay.
iteration. So we watch a lot of that, and
Hmm.
it's I mean it's well written. It's a good series, you know.
Hmm.
Occasionally a little preachy, but I mean it's it's good. So I guess I enjoy watching that with her.
Got it.
So.
Okay. Now, do you read with music or do you prefer quiet?
Well, speaking of Christine, this drives her absolutely nuts because when she's working on anything, she wants quiet, absolute quiet.
Mm.
Um, I generally loop a song, something that appeals to me at the moment for what scene I'm writing or what I'm writing,
Hmm.
and I'll just loop that on iTunes or Spotify or whatever, just over and over and over. And
Hmm.
I mean, I'm in a different room than she is, but I guess she can hear it playing in the
Got it.
background a little bit. She's like, I mean, that would just make her crazy. But it's just kind of fades away. It's something about being in that zone, as they call it.
Hmm. Hmm.
It just I love it. Sometimes I'll just let it play random songs, but
Mm.
usually we'll loop a song and, for like 30, 40 minutes at a time.
Oh
So
boy.
it's kind of crazy, but that's
Got it.
in in once in a while I'll forget to do it, and that's fine too. But yeah,
Mm.
I usually like music.
So, along those lines, so what does your actual reading environment look and sound like?
Well, you're kind of looking at it here.
Oh, okay.
It's yeah, I've always been. I mean, way back, even that poetry stuff I sold as a teenager. I saved my money and bought a little portable standard typewriter as a kid,
Mm.
and have always. I don't really write freehand at all. Not very often. I mean, even if it's something really short like a poem, there's something about having it typewritten on a page
Mhm.
that works for me. Um, so I'm always at the computer. Now I have been known that I used to smoke cigars
Mhm.
before the surgery, and I would I've been known to drag the laptop over to a cigar lounge and have a cigar and
Mhm.
right away. And it's kind of funny too because that's kind of the same way. It's kind of like playing the song in the background
Mhm.
because there's conversations going all around me. But again, that's just in the background, and I can still write away
Mhm.
that way too. Um, but yeah, and it's so now it's here primarily, and since I don't smoke cigars or anything anymore. But as you can see, there's a backdrop behind me. Christine's also an actor, so this is where we tape auditions and stuff. That
Mhm.
um, which nowadays in the acting world, almost everything's self-tape.
Oh,
You
yeah.
used to go into a room and that's pretty much gone, and now they're just like, okay, just tape this, make it look great,
Mhm.
good lighting, blah blah blah, all this other technical stuff that drives
Mhm.
an actor crazy now,
Mm.
and tape and send it in. So um,
Got it. Now, do you prefer paperback, ebook, or audio?
there is no doubt about that question. Paperback all the way.
Okay.
I hate to admit it. I guess I've never read an ebook or listened
Mhm.
to an audiobook all the way through.
Oh,
You
wow.
know, read snippets of it. I mean, hardbacks even I'm not that wild about hardbacks really. I just again I guess it goes back to as kids. I just they had this what was it called? I don't remember what this was, but you could order. They bring in these little flyers or little. It was just like one sheet of paper folded over, like a 8.5 by 11 paper, and you could order books, and then they deliver them to you at some point in
Mhm.
time. I mean, it wasn't bookmobile; you were buying them, but of course, those were always paperbacks. And just from the get go, and I just love holding that book in my hands. Love sticking a bookmark in it. Yeah, so I mean, I need to get with the programs. I know the books now are ebooks, if not audiobooks, and um,
Do what makes you happy,
it's kind
you
of
know?
dumb trying to navigate some of the advanced reader copies and Amazon
Mhm.
rules and Barnes and Noble's rules, and so much of it's ebook stuff, and I don't even know how to what's going on with that. But as you know, there is an ebook version of Lost Cruces Blood Relatives. So
Mhm. And so back to Las Cruces Blood Relatives, who would you cast as your primary characters and why? If this was ever made into like a TV show or a film.
well, yeah, I think Mark Ruffalo would be a great detective.
Okay.
David Lee Michaels is the character's name in the book.
Mhm.
John Hawkes would be good, really good at
Mhm.
that, I think. And the female protagonist is a young Native American woman.
Mhm.
Uh, I know I've had people say, "Well, you can't. You're an old white guy. You can't write that character." But I think she's great fun,
Mm.
and she's actually kind of the lead of the whole book. But
Mhm.
there's since I'm here in New Mexico and I'm an actor, there's an actress here, Amber Midthunder.
Okay.
Um, I think she's originally from the Santa Fe-ish area,
Hmm.
and I don't. She might be in LA because she's had great success over the last 2 or 3 years. She was in the lead in Prey, which was some kind of Predator prequel,
Hmm.
um, and she was in Ice Truckers with Liam Neeson and
Hmm.
some other people. So she's kind of blowing it up, but she might be a little young
Hmm.
for the character, but that's who comes to mind there.
Okay. Now, if you could meet absolutely anyone, who would you want to meet and what would you ask them?
Well, I'm cheating a little bit because I have ever so briefly met these people,
Hmm.
a couple of these people. I I'm just ate up with flying and space travel and all this stuff,
Hmm.
and the astronauts that walked on the moon. I think would just be fascinating
Oh,
to
cool.
talk to them. And I went. I was acting in Florida,
Hmm.
down in Florida, doing a theater performance. I got to go down there like 4 or 5 years in a row and was doing a Christmas Carol
Hmm.
down there as an actor. And in the what do they call it? The Aerospace Museum of some kind is down there. The Blue
Hmm.
Angels are based there.
Hmm.
Are based in Pensacola, Florida, and that's where I was. And then one year they had some, just coincidentally while I was there, they had this giant event,
Hmm.
uh, and included several of the astronauts were there. And so I actually, uh, oh my God, blanking on the names here all of a sudden, but it was, I was like a kid in a candy store there. I mean,
Hmm.
just they had these panels and stuff, and just listening to them, talking to them. Um, Met the guy, and oh, was it was it Eugene Cernan? Was he an astronaut, or is he one of the mission control guys? But he was the last man to walk on the moon.
Ah,
So
okay. Uh-huh.
I got to visit with him ever so briefly, but
Mm.
personally, one on one. But I would love just to hear the stories. I mean, who else has that perspective
Mm.
uh, on life that they stood on another planet,
Hmm.
looking at our planet? I know we just recently orbited the moon again, but
Hmm.
those guys, it's just a crazy
Yeah.
experience, I would think. And he was especially funny because he told the story of said his grandkids now won't let him live this down. He
Okay.
actually wrecked the lunar rover, hit a rock or something like it.
Mm.
But
Hmm.
he goes, so I'm the only driver on the moon. I still had an accident. So
Mm.
the grandkids won't let him live that down. But anyway,
See? Now, if someone was to ask you to describe yourself in 5 words, how would you describe yourself?
well, obviously good looking. No,
Obviously.
I'm not joking about that. Caring,
Hmm.
emotional, um, kind of daring, I guess. Maybe.
Okay.
I've taken quite a few risks in life in general,
Mm-hmm.
both in moving from where I grew up in Billings, Missouri, and Springfield, Missouri. Um, Moved my business. I was in business for years. Moved that to Kansas City, and then from there to LA to be near my daughter and her family, and also to pursue some of the acting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess I've known a lot of people that never really go anywhere other than travel. But I mean, so I've
Mm-hmm.
lived several different places now, and I've enjoyed all of it.
Okay.
I know I digressed away from that, but I don't know. I think that was 3 words. Maybe I give up.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Because now I'm going to slam you with Describe your life in 5 words.
Okay, that um, chaotic would be one of the words that comes to mind. Um, Adventurous, maybe gratifying. I mean, it's actually been pretty gratifying life overall.
Mm.
Uh, a lot of stuff hasn't gone as planned, but what else would I say? Wanderlust. I mean, I guess that may be describing me or my life,
Mm.
harkening back to living different places, traveling. I mean, I would travel a lot more if I had the time and money,
Mm.
but I just love to travel.
Mm.
Um, and my son's kind of like me. My daughter's more like my ex-wife, and
Mm.
she's fine right where she is in LA, you know. Uh, but I've gotten to travel for me a lot the last 10 or 15 years, and it's been
Mm.
really, really wonderful.
Oh,
Um,
fabulous.
and I guess just unsettled, fun. I mean, it's been a fun life overall.
Now, if you could write yourself into a novel, would you be a hero or a villain, and why?
Well, having been an actor both on stage and some on screen, stuff like that, villains are always more fun to play.
Mm.
But and I guess I've played a few of them, but it might be nice to be the hero for once. I don't know,
Okay.
save everybody, something. But, yeah.
Now, when was the last time you ran wild, and what did you do, and what made it wild?
Well, it wasn't too wild, but I guess I've had some other people tell me, oh, that's a crazy story. You know? But I went to Europe several years ago,
Mhm.
as I mentioned. I guess this was in 2019, I think. Um, and I had been to South America and Mexico and a few other places around, you know, um, the Bahamas and a couple things like that. But had never been. My family's originally from Denmark and Germany, and I
Mhm.
had never been there, anything like that. So I was again talking to a couple guys at the cigar store in LA, cigar lounge there in LA, and said, "Yeah, I've never been there. Well, you need to
Mhm.
go. Just pack up and go." And I was single at the time, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll check it out." And for some reason, I don't know what the gods smiled on me. I
Mhm.
got a round trip ticket on Delta
No.
from LA to Copenhagen for
Mhm.
600 and some odd dollars.
Oh, wow, that's
And
great.
so I'm like, well, I got to take that.
Mhm.
And so I had the arrival date and the departure date to come and go from Copenhagen specifically. And I had a Euro pass, had a railway pass for there, and packed a backpack and a small carry-on, and didn't have any other plans. Well, one other
Mm.
plan. There was a friend of mine is from Berlin, and she was in a production of West Side Story
Mhm.
in Berlin in German.
Mm.
Um, but she said, well, but the songs, the German's an ugly language to sing, so the songs are still English, but all the dialogues in German. But I'd been in the show a million years ago and stuff, so I knew the show really well. So I still enjoyed it. But I had the arrival and departure dates in and also a couple days that I needed to be in Berlin to see her show.
Mm.
And other than that, I just winged it. So I spent a couple days in Prague.
Mhm.
Somebody suggested, "Oh, you need to go to Prague," and I'm like, "Okay." I was maybe I'm gonna go somewhere else. I'll go to Prague, I guess. So
Mhm.
it was very freeing. It was great fun.
Mhm.
Didn't seem all that wild to me, but I'm, I guess some people say, "Well, that's kind of crazy just to show up with no plans and just wing
Yeah,
it."
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Now, you already let us know that you do write to music. So, what could we like typically find on your playlist? What are your go-tos?
Uh, Tori Amos is a big one.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I enjoy her a lot, and also find a lot of her music's very atmospheric. Um, in fact, I'm going to go see her here in a couple weeks here in Albuquerque, and I've
Oh,
seen her in concert before too.
mhm,
But I'm a Todd Rundgren freak from my teenage years. I've always
mhm,
kind of followed him, and he has some songs that work for me. The Guess Who, I
mhm.
love their music. Uh, um, so I mean, there are a few Taylor Swifts. I mean, the 10-minute version of was it all? No, all was what is it? Can't think of the title right now.
All good.
But I will listen to that. That's pretty handy. It's just 10 minutes long. So um, and Abbott Brothers, I've got a
Mhm.
couple songs of theirs I love. Another old one, Grand Funk Railroad, Closer to Home. I just love that song. That word because the song itself is so repetitive. You can
Mhm.
put that on and pretty quickly it fades in the background and that works for me a lot.
Got it. Cool.
So there's I don't know. It's pretty eclectic. I
Okay.
enjoy a lot of music.
Excellent. Now, almost everyone I know has like there's a studio that if it's mentioned, they're like, "Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm 100% Disney. I'm 100% Warner. I'm 100% Universal." What would you consider to be like your go-to studio?
Probably Warner Brothers.
Okay. Cool.
I'm not
And what makes them stand out for you?
well. It just oh my gosh, I'm gonna blank on coming up with names here so much, but oh, give me just a second here. I actually made scribbled a couple of these things down here, but I get okay. The Matrix, Inception,
Mm,
Joker, Goodfellas, Casablanca goes on. I mean, so many to me. Well, they're not just to me. I mean, they're classic films, but films that I really enjoy or relate to.
mhm,
Um, they've made a lot of them, and I'm not so much. I guess in recent, not a studio really, but A24.
mm,
They seem to be cranking out all the good ones now. But
mhm,
um, Scott Lev was a good friend of mine that
mhm,
did the I Am Spider-Man book, and I
mhm.
mean, I'm not into the Marvel universe or the comic book universe and stuff so much. I know my CW and Marvon, my sister and brother-in-law are, um, but I
Cool.
like somewhat more realistic stuff. Um,
Mm,
I know that. Well, they did the Dark Knight, which I actually enjoyed that. A couple of these
mhm.
Batman movies I enjoyed a lot. But I guess
Okay.
Joker and Dark Knight. Yeah.
Now, if you had to pick between an appetizer or dessert, which would you pick, and what
Oh,
would you pick?
dessert. Appetite because I get an appetizer, I'll blow through that and ruin my appetite. It always sounds it sounds great, but
Yeah.
desserts, um, ice cream always works.
Mhm,
Cherry pie, a la mode
mhm,
always works for me. Um, a number of there's a theater in Kansas City, a dinner theater that is what I think it's actually been voted the most popular dinner theater in the United States, actually.
ah,
Uh,
cool.
but they serve a chocolate torte
Mhm.
that is to die for. Um, so there's a few things there.
Excellent. Well, before we leave, is there anything else that you wanna mention or chat about?
Oh gosh, I'm not sure. I guess I'll just say yeah. I've written. This is my first novel, as you well know,
Mhm,
but I've also written, I think, 3 or 4 screenplays now. Haven't sold any of those, but
Mm-hmm.
hope springs eternal, I guess. And then I wrote a one full length play,
Mm-hmm.
um, stage play that got picked, selected by New York International Fringe in 2015, I think, and was done there.
Ah,
Uh,
cool.
and had kind of the distinction because if people are familiar with Fringe festivals, it's the most unfringy show you'll ever imagine. It's a 4 character family drama.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and even a couple of people on the board that selected plays, they're like instantly, yeah, we know what that one is because so that's the only freaking 90-minute drama that's in the entire festival um, this year. So I was
Mm-hmm.
pretty proud of that. Uh, and then I've written a few short films. A couple of those have been produced.
Mm-hmm.
Julie Carmen directed one. Um, Many people know her. She's not a household name, perhaps, but a lot of people. She's got a huge fan base,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and so that's been. So I guess I just write a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Enjoy writing almost anything, but except for high school essays. That's not even true. I should kind of like writing those too. Actually. So, but I guess that and just I'm an actor.
Got it.
Looking to cast me.
Well, with that, again, I just want to thank you for taking the time to just sit down and chat with me. And an absolute, absolute honor. Anyone who's watching, don't forget, you can pick up, actually, you can pre order
Yeah.
Last Cruces Blood Relatives now. And it will be available on ebook, paperback, and audiobook. And with that, again, thank you so much, Herman. This has just been an absolute pleasure.
Well, thank you. I've enjoyed it a lot.